everybody, Johnny B. Good here. Welcome somewhere in, I have no idea. Can't remember. Somewhere in Wisconsin. Let me double check here. Shawano. We're located somewhere around Shawano, Wisconsin. Anyway, once again, today is Friday, December 26, 2014. The local time here is exactly 1 o'clock p.m. Temperature is at 35 degrees. We are currently traveling on Highway 29 west on our way to Sumner, Washington. It is exactly 1,899 miles to our destination. We're delivering at Costco on December 29th, I believe somewhere around 6 a.m. Roughly 31 hours and 3 minutes available or to drive. The good news is I was able to do a reset this holiday, this Christmas. I parked blue at the yard somewhere around Christmas Eve, somewhere around 10 or 11 o'clock in the morning, and got it back at somewhere around 11 also this morning. So we got our reset. For those of you who don't know what a reset is, we truck drivers are only allowed to drive 70 hours a week, and if we set for more than 34 hours or a minimum of 34 hours, then we get the whole 70 hours back. Alright, I got a very special story to tell you guys that's been happening at our house, and which many of you out there have seen or relate to this scene. First of all, before I tell you the story, let me tell you about a little bit about background of what the story is about, so you'll kind of get it. For the last couple of months, there has been a Filipina girl that's been living in our house who is married to Brandon. Brandon is a 24 years old Army veteran or Army soldier that has been currently stationed in Afghanistan. Now, this girl is Ella. Ella is from the Philippines. Ella and Brandon got married 3 years ago in the Philippines, or maybe longer. But the last time they've seen each other was exactly 3 years ago. Well, not exactly, but yeah, so 3 years ago. Ella arrived here somewhere in August, I believe. When she got here, Brandon was already deployed in Afghanistan. And Ella has been living at her in-laws for so many months. And wouldn't you know it, Ella and her mother-in-law didn't get along. Mother-in-law ended up kicking her out. She had to go find a different place to live, which is another Filipina that lives in Sheboygan. That lasted for a couple of weeks or a couple of months. And the darndest thing happened again. The Filipina that was taking her, that she was renting a room with or from, got a little bit jealous. See, Ella is a little younger, beautiful Filipina, and without her doing anything, the older Filipina that was renting the room got jealous and told her to get out. Now, you know, this happened during Christmas party, I don't know, about a month ago or so. And, well, nobody volunteered to take her in because, well, either their house was full, or one excuse was they were too far from Sheboygan. Well, to make the story short, it fell in our lap in our house, and so my wife and I, you know, what are you gonna do? Say no? Of course not, right? I mean, in the middle of winter, you can't just kick somebody out, you know. So anyway, Ella's been living in our house for so many months or weeks or whatever that was. And it turned out to be really good. It was really cool. Ella is a very wonderful lady. She picked up after herself. She carried her own weight. In fact, Jackie and AJ loved her very, very much because they didn't have to wash their own dishes now. Ella felt a little bit obligated. Did the cleaning and washing the dishes at the house, and that worked out really well. And Ella and my wife got along real cool. And so anyway, that's the background of the story. Now, Christmas Eve, while everybody was eating and gathering, I was jokingly saying to Ella, I said, Ella, I got a Christmas package for you coming. Who's going to walk into that door in about 30 seconds. And I said, 30, 29, 28. And her heart started racing because, you know, I kind of pointed out that it was her husband that's going to come through that door, and it was a surprise Christmas gift. And of course I was just joking around. I had no clue, no idea, never even talked to her husband or know anything about her husband. And yeah, I know it's a little cruel, but that's just the way we Filipinos kind of joke around, you know. So that was kind of a normal thing for us. No harm done. So anyway, Christmas Eve came down to an end. Everybody went to sleep. I think I went to bed around 11. Everybody else went to bed at 1 or 3. So everybody was tired. And now, I was asleep this whole time, okay? I just later learned this. At 7:30 in the morning, well, let me kind of say it this way. There's Brandon, to our surprise, we didn't know it then, Brandon, to our surprise, really did travel from Afghanistan all the way to Germany, all the way to all that stuff, landed in Kansas City, drove from Kansas City straight to Sheboygan. Now, we've all seen this video online, YouTube and Facebook, where, you know, the husband or the wife, the soldier, does the surprise thing, and, you know, the heartfelt and beautiful music on the background where I've just known myself to shed some tears or two, you know, to watching this love story unfold, you know. I mean, we've all seen that, right? I mean, just beautiful love story unfolding. All right. Here's the funny part. Brandon drives all night long arrives in Sheboygan at our house at 7:30 in the morning. Well, before that, Brandon gets over there in Fond du Lac, Wisconsin, and he gets pulled over by a cop for doing 2 miles an hour over the speed limit. Are you serious? And he even got a warning to prove it. I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, the guy is wearing an army sweatshirt, beautiful army haircut, you know. This guy is a 24-year-old army soldier. I mean, this guy was not a fake by any means, you know. He even told the cop that he's been driving all night long to surprise his wife and all that stuff. Well, still gets a warning ticket. But anyway, so, you know, I'm trying to say that Brandon has made an incredible effort to surprise his wife on Christmas Day. Anyway, Brandon arrives at our house at 7:30. And of course, everybody's dead tired. Everybody's asleep. Rings the bell. And of course, Jackie is closest to the doorbell. So Jackie gets up, opens the door. Brandon, you got to take in mind, nobody knows who Brandon is. Nobody's ever seen Brandon. Nobody ever knew Brandon was his name. And we also didn't know Ella and any other name other than Ella. We didn't know who Ella's real name was. So anyway, Brandon rings the bell. Jackie answers the door. Brandon says, "Is so-and-so here, my wife?" Jackie, who's half asleep, and Jackie says, "No, there's nobody here by that name." I mean, you could just imagine at this point, you know, the music is, the love song and the beautiful music plays, and then as soon as Jackie says, "Nope, there's nobody here by that name," you could just imagine the scratch and the screech of the music. You know how they do it, you know, on videos where they screech it and scratch it on the record player, you know, like, oh, you know. And anyway, Brandon tries to explain, "Are you sure there's nobody here?" And Jackie gets a little cranky at this point, gets irritated. "I'm telling you, there's nobody here by that name." Jackie closes the door, and so Brandon leaves. Now Brandon goes, I don't know why Brandon doesn't have a cell phone. So Brandon goes out to the nearest Wi-Fi place, which is a Motel 8, and sends a message on Facebook or whatever that is to his wife Ella. He says, "Are you sure you live in this so-and-so address?" So Ella wakes me up and says, "Kuya, what's the address here?" I said, "You know, so-and-so, this and that." And Brandon at this time is getting kind of mad, I guess. He says, Brandon's still at it as far as the surprise goes. He says, "I sent a guy at your house to deliver a package, only to be answered by a young girl saying that you don't live at that address." He says, "What in the world's going on? Are you sure you really live at that address?" And Ella goes, "Yeah, of course." And at this point, I'm trying to put my mind in Brandon's case, because at this point I didn't know the background of the surprise at this point. So and I'm thinking, Ella, you think you ought to take a video of yourself and put it on YouTube, that way Brandon, because I'm thinking Brandon is still in Afghanistan. I said, you ought to make a video, put it on YouTube, that way he can really see that you are here. You know, because I know how it is to be out far away from your family, and you know, your mind and your heart starts to race, and you start thinking of the awfulest things, you know. And so anyway, about 10-15 minutes later, another doorbell rings. So I answered the door at this time, and well, it was an American guy, young guy, with an army sweatshirt, and so Ella comes out the door, and yeah, that's when the beautiful music and the beautiful love songs and love scenes and all that stuff really went going on. And by this time, I didn't have my camera with me. Ah, man, I should have recorded it. But yeah. So, yep, Ella and Brandon are back together, and so they went out to his parents, and they did the same thing over there, and oh man, it was a beautiful scene, but it was a little bit of a comic. And I told Jackie, I said, Jackie, the guy was wearing an army sweatshirt. Didn't you put it together? She said, Daddy, I was half asleep. Oh, man. So anyway, Brandon and Ella are leaving tomorrow. In fact, they're packing up today. They're leaving tomorrow. They're going back to Kansas City, because that's where Brandon is assigned somewhere. I guess there's an army base over there. And so Brandon has to go back on duty on Monday. But the thing is, in a couple of weeks or a couple of months, Brandon will go back to Afghanistan again. And I suggested that Ella should go back to our house when Brandon is deployed in Afghanistan. I don't know whether that's going to happen or not, but anyway, it was I couldn't stop laughing at the first attempt of Brandon's surprise. I mean, can you imagine? You drove all the way from Kansas City, got home all the way from the war, only to be told your wife didn't live there. Oh man. But I gotta hand it to Brandon though. He really worked hard at it, and he succeeded in surprising his wife. Oh, I just really wish I had a camera, but I mean, give me a break. It's 7:30 in the morning. I didn't expect anything, so well, that's that. It's the highlight of what happened at the house. And with that, we'll catch you later. Thank you for watching, and have a good and godly day, everybody. Peace.